Okay, next we have yet another team that it has a win total at 7.5. That is Texas Tech. Everyone's darling of this offseason.
Yes.
And for good reason, I would say. Like Joey McGuire has done some good things there already as their coach, raising their recruiting profile. And if you're kind of looking at Texas Tech, you kind of trust what they got. They got Tyler Shuck and Baron Morton coming back at quarterback, both who played last year. And they do lose, I forget the guy's name, top 10 draft pick who was at pass rusher, but they got other good pass rushers I know they're excited about. They're over the moon about their team. Like they really feel like they have a great team. What do you look at when you see this Texas Tech football team?
Joey McGuire is, he had a really good year one. There's a ton of positivity right now in Texas Tech. I think that where you run into the issue is that there's so many teams that are kind of in the muck that is the Big 12, that any week anybody can beat anybody, and someone does have to lose these games. And if we're going over on Kansas State, if we're going over on TCU, and we're going over on Texas, there's only a certain amount of wins to go around, and someone does have to lose. And they happen to play all of those teams. I have them going just under. Is that fair? Maybe not. I don't know. It's you do have to play your schedule. Texas Tech they catch Oregon in the non-conference. We think Oregon's a good team, really talented team. It is at home, which is nice, but that's still a really, really tough non-conference game. So I think they go under. Maybe a little unfair. But I think they do go just under, probably win 7 games, 6-7 games. Bowl eligible though. I do think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I kind of set it up. Like they are everyone's darling this offseason, and I get it. I totally do. I like what they've done. Joey McGuire, you mentioned. It feels a little high for this early in the process. Right. 7-5 would feel like a pretty solid year to me. Their schedule is, like you mentioned, like it's kind of tough just based on there's a lot of other teams in the Big 12 that we expect to be better this year than they were last year. And if you're going down through their schedule, you mentioned the Oregon game. They have to go to Baylor. They have to go to BYU. They have to go to Kansas and to Texas. They also have to play UCF and TCU. And I'm on the under. I think it might even be down at 6-6. And I wouldn't be that down on the team if they were. That would be totally understandable, given their schedule, given how early this is in the McGuire era. I think the arrow's pointed up. I'm just not sure it's quite as steep as it seems like everybody and their mother has Texas Tech as their darling this year. So, I'm just pumping the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, it's fair to do so, but I think it's also important to understand that it just because they go 6-6 does not mean that they had a bad year, or right. that they really underperformed. It's there's only a certain amount of these wins to go around, and I think it's maybe a little bit unfair to ding some of these coaches and kind of say, well, they underperformed and they didn't do what they should with the momentum that they had going into the year. When you look at the teams they have to play, someone does have to lose these games. And that often just kind of just gets, run past a little bit, is that there's actual numbers here and someone's going to take a loss in every single game. So unfortunate maybe that we're picking against them. I have nothing against Texas Tech. They definitely have a really good thing going there. And with one of the other programs on the rise, we've talked about 3 of them in a row that we feel good about in the long term. It just, not all of them can go over this year.
Right.